Let's say you have a headache. Now this headache is pretty bad. So you go to the doctor. The doctor might tell you that you're not sleeping enough. So you try to get some more sleep. You still have a headache. You go to a neurologist. Neurologist tells you that you might have some sort of brain problem, an aneurysm, or some sort of swelling, and they're going to look at it and they can't really find it, but they're going to tell you some sort of vague disease. You go to a different urgent care and they tell you that you just need to take an Advil and it's a normal headache, or you might have migraines. Your fitness friend tells you that you're dehydrated and you just need to drink more water. Your Republican friend tells you that they had more headaches that were worse than you and they dealt with it worse, and your generation just doesn't know how to handle headaches. Democrats will tell you that you have a headache and the problem can't be solved because you don't have health insurance, or health insurance is too crappy and we have too many over-the-counter prescription drugs to fix these problems. You're really confused, so you go to a therapist, and the therapist tells you that you might just be anxious and you're overthinking things, and that could be causing your headache. After talking about several unrelated issues with your therapist, they might recommend a psychologist who might try to tell you that you're having a headache because you're trying to sleep with your mom or some stupid bullshit. So obviously the psychologist isn't really the most helpful and might put you on medication that you don't need. And you try to go on online forums and you ask people online about your headache, and somebody tells you that the government used vaccines to put some sort of brain chip in your brain or whatever, and that's what's causing your headache because they're controlling you. Now let's say in this example your headache never goes away. In most examples, at some point your headache will go away, or you have a real problem that one of the doctors probably would have noticed, or maybe you just take an Advil and it goes away. Sometimes headaches happen, sometimes there's an underlying reason. Sometimes the reason is so negligible that you just never really get to figure out what it's caused. But it doesn't stop people, both experts, non-experts, people who care about you, people who don't care about you, people who have rational opinions and irrational opinions, from giving their reason for why it's happening. People often get too invested in what they think and what their perspective of the world is, and they often forget that problems can be caused by multiple sources in an attempt to justify their own opinions. You see, an opinion is just that, an opinion. It can be offensive, it can be disputed, it can be argued about, but there are two different contradictory opinions that can be somewhat similar, and there are plenty of opinions that are wrong. No matter where you get your opinions from, your opinions do not matter, no matter how much you think they do. And it's only when the people around you are just as interested as helping solving your problems as you are interested in solving them that you actually can solve the problem. They're the ones that are going to help encourage you to think about other solutions to said problems, and they're going to push you to try to do the solutions even when you don't want to. And in turn, you're going to try to do the same thing for them, because the people in your life ultimately matters more than the perspective that you have to offer. If you care more about giving your opinion than actually making somebody's life better, what does that say about you? If you're so certain in your opinions that you just think that you're right, what does that say about all the other people that also think they're right for the same reasons that you think you're right? I think this is the biggest problem of our society nowadays. We are less interested in solving problems, being honest about those problems, being honest about our solution to those problems, and actually making sure that people are being taken care of and that we're being good to each other. We are far more interested in ignoring what's happening in the news, ignoring what's actually happening in real world events, and if we do pay attention to it, we try to twist it to what we already agree with, as opposed to trying to understand it. We have too many people that are willing to circulate memes, crappy arguments, and trying to argue with people that they don't even know, than actually trying to solve problems. What should be the free marketplace of ideas, the place that you go to improve yourself, to have your opinions challenged, to be able to admit when you're wrong and to challenge somebody when they're wrong, has instead become a choose your own adventure for your opinions. Do you want the red pill? Do you want the blue pill? Do you want the pro-government, anti-government? Do you want the neurologist solution or the doctor solution? Because regardless of how much or little training the person you're going to is, you're going to try to always resort to what you know and understand. And because people try to make themselves comfortable, they never really grow as people, and society doesn't grow. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. If I'm talking to a Republican, and that Republican likes me as a person, and we have yet to talk about any sort of political opinions, they just assume I'm a Republican. Same thing with Democrats. Same thing with people who like veterans. Same thing with everybody. We are so ingrained in our positions that it becomes very challenging for people to imagine that somebody that they disagree with might be somebody that they actually like. And you can also see this in a lot of our online arguments. A lot of people will do really ridiculous things like, this is what our side looks like, and they show a lot of very beautiful and handsome models that posed for pictures and compare it to the ugliest people that they could possibly find without even knowing their opinions, and claim that that's what everybody on that side looks like. Rather than having a complex and challenging understanding of the world around you, one that where you are uncertain and you are willing to admit that you're not certain, you rather stick with certainty and argue very simplistic and childish arguments. And it's because of this why I get so upset at blatant hypocrisy. People who 1 minute claim about American lives, claim they care about people's lives, claim that they care about doing the right thing for people, and then the next minute they're going to say, well, if you're weak, you don't deserve to survive, or a certain group of people that got shot up and died probably deserved it for some reason, or ignoring violence that could have easily been avoided, or any other litany of issues that kind of contradict your other stances because you care more about your political allegiances than everything else. I am part of the problem, you're part of the problem, and it's only until we can humanize each other can we understand that maybe somebody can disagree with you for a good reason. I know I've met many people that disagree with me for good reason, and believe it or not, many people have met me and found out that I disagree with them for very good reason.